Okay. All right. Hey, guys. So thanks for coming to our call. It's Team Sweat Your Heart Out's team call on Wednesday nights. We get here, we hang out, we drink wine, we talk. It's a lot of fun. So I wanted to first do some recognition for our team. Our coach of the week this week is Emmy. So congratulations, Emmy, for being coach of the week.
Thank you.
Emmy's kicking booty this month. It's a tough month, and she's still hauling ass, and I'm so proud of her for helping her team be successful, because that's what it's about. You can be successful, but if your team is not successful, then what the heck are you doing this for? Like, that's the way that I look at it. So you want to have a successful team as well, and leading by example is definitely a great way to show your team what they should be doing and help them grow as well. So congratulations, Sammy. Also, too, I just wanted to say I'm really proud of our team as well as a whole. In 1 week, we jumped 21 spots, which is awesome, especially like getting close to the end of the year. I feel like a lot of teams are kind of giving up at this point, and we're not going to give up. We're just going to keep pushing, because by doing that, we're going to put ourselves at so much of a better position come January than if we were to slow down like everybody else. So I'm not sure if you had a chance to catch that call that I posted in the team page that Bonnie Engel did for the Bombshell Dynasty, but I'm listening to her, and I'm looking at our team, and I'm listening to her talk, and I'm looking at our team. And last year at this time, Bonnie Engel's team, the Shine Dynasty, and yes, I know the name because I stalk her life, they were number 350 in the company. We're 366, so we're pretty much 350. It's close enough. I'd count it. And their team was a 2-star team, barely. One of her stars was a family member or something. So as far as star diamond, our team is surpassing that, and rank, we're super close. This year she's number 5 in the company. So why the heck can't we be in the top 10 next year? I don't know. I'm looking at her and looking at our team, and I can totally see that happening for us, and it's just super exciting. So just go into the end of the year and just go into it just as strong as you started. You know how excited you were when you started coaching, and you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just help everybody. Be like that every day. Be just as excited as you were on day 1 every single day. So with that, I want to pass this call over to one of our diamonds, Lauren Avon. She's our newest diamond. She's been a coach for almost 5 months at this point in her coaching career. We met on Instagram. It's kind of funny because she's from New Jersey, but I met her when she lived in California on Instagram. She has blown me out of the water in terms of the speed that she has been able to do the things that she has done. And I am just super proud of her, and just watching her grow has been so much fun. So I really think it'll be a great call, because it'll be nice to hear not only from somebody else besides me all the time, because I'm sure you get bored of listening to me, but it'll give you organization and different topics that she's going to cover from a different perspective of a coach who has been here for 4 months, has another job besides coaching. I know I work full time, so sometimes the things that I say, you're like, I don't have time to do that shit. I can't do that. So this will give you a different perspective, so you can take things from what Lauren says and apply them to your business. So go ahead, Lauren. It's all yours.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. So like Carolyn said, I do work other jobs besides just doing this. I work at a gym, and then I dance, and I teach people aerial, and my schedule's always crazy, and I'm always in classes and all over the place. So today I wanted to talk about how to prioritize your tasks, how to create really effective and helpful to-do lists that you can actually get done, and a little bit about time management. I know Carolyn talked about that a little bit last week, but I just want to kind of tie everything else into that. So to start, prioritizing your tasks. I don't know if any of you guys have read The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy, but if you haven't, I would highly recommend it. Are you reading that, Carolyn? No. Oh, you should. Everyone should do it. So a lot of these ideas come from him. I'm just kind of summarizing them for you guys because it's been really, really helpful for me, and I've noticed a really significant difference in my day-to-day over the past few weeks just as I started applying these things, and especially now when it's so hard to stay on task and motivate ourselves because it's so easy to be like, well, the holidays are coming up, it's the end of the year. Like, this is like the perfect time to start really applying these things. Okay, so the first thing that was like so eye-opening to me is activity does not mean productivity. Basically what that means is there's a huge difference between being on Facebook, actively messaging people and talking to them and being in a conversation versus being on Facebook, scrolling through your wall, trying to figure out who you're going to reach out to, and then getting lost, liking everyone's statuses, liking everyone's pictures, commenting on everything, watching these videos, and then suddenly hours have gone by and you haven't messaged anyone and you've been sitting on Facebook and you've gotten nothing done, even though you set out to do something. So, to maximize your time, the first thing that you really need to do is identify your vital functions. Now, these aren't the same as your vital behaviors or your vital priorities. These aren't tasks really, but they're things. It's kind of like what your purpose is. So what do you specifically need to be responsible for? For all of us as coaches, helping people is like the biggest one. And then on top of that, if you have a team that you're leading your team is a huge one. Your vital functions you shouldn't have a long list of them. It should be 1 to 3 things tops that you specifically need to do, that you are the only one who can be responsible for doing these things in order to help your business. So that's the first thing. And then from there, you want to identify your vital priorities. Now, these are the tasks that you do to properly execute your vital functions. For us, it's our 3 vital behaviors. It's inviting, being a product of the product, and posting. So anytime you're feeling like completely overwhelmed by your business, your schedule, trying to get your vital behaviors done while you're in school or Christmas shopping or whatever you're doing, there's a good chance that the reason you're feeling so overwhelmed is because you don't have a clear list of priorities. Your head's all over the place and you're trying to put too many things on your plate, when really the things that are going to be crucial are just the key components that are going to push your business forward. So a good rule of thumb that I really like to follow now, if you have more than 3 priorities, you don't have any priorities. Does that make sense? Like, by definition, you can't prioritize everything. That's not possible. So you're just adding so much extra pressure to yourself, trying to make all the little tiny things that aren't really crucial to your business a priority. So that's one thing. To go along with that, you need to learn when to say no. So staying focused on your priorities isn't necessarily what you're saying yes to, but it's more about being able to say no to the hundreds or thousands of other really great ideas that pop into your head or that are presented to you. It's so easy to get sidetracked when something sounds great, but you need to be able to say no to those things unless you've already accomplished all of those tasks that you need to get done. So saying no is kind of like, the way I think of it is like keeping your eye on the prize, like tunnel vision. What do you really, really need to do? Everything else can wait. You know, when you're saying yes to too many things, you're really dividing your time and your energy to the point where not only won't you be able to master any of the skills that are really crucial, but you're also probably not going to even be good at them because you're not going to be putting enough energy into them to improve. You know, we can all keep improving. The more we reach out to people, the more we follow up, we get better every single time we do that. But if you're not doing that because you're putting other things on top of it or above it on your to-do list, then you're never going to improve, and it's never going to get easier, and it's never going to get less stressful to deal with those things. So if you can identify your vital behaviors, you can turn them into habits, and if you've read the compound effect, it will compound over time and help you. So we're pretty lucky because we don't actually have to identify anything because it's all been handed right to us and it's been proven to work. We have our 3 vital behaviors that every single coach, every single top coach who's been doing this for years, they all do these 3 vital behaviors. So you don't even really have to think about it that much. You just need to understand why those are your vital behaviors and why that is what you need to stick to. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can drop everything else and just go back to those 3 things and still be moving your business forward. So that's my first point. Does anybody have any questions about that before I move forward? No. Can't see everyone. Okay.
No, you're doing great. Keep going.
Cool.
I got my notes.
All right, perfect. Okay, so my next thing that I want to talk about that kind of builds upon that is creating effective to-do lists. Ones that you can actually get done and aren't just sitting there piling on, getting longer and longer, and you're never getting anything done because you're like buried in a to-do list. So this I'm taking directly from Chalene Johnson's 30-day push. And if you haven't done it yet, I highly recommend it. It's free. You can sign up online. It takes less than 10 minutes of your day every day for 30 days. And it's so incredibly helpful. Even if you've done it already, do it again. It's great. So the first thing she talks about is you need to divide your to-do list into 3 different lists. You want to have to do today, to do this week, and to do soon. This is going to make your tasks so much more manageable. Your to do today list should only include things that absolutely 100% need to be done today. And it needs to be non-negotiable to get your entire to do today list done that day. Does that make sense? So you don't want to add on things that, you know, if it's Monday, well, I need to have this done by Friday, like maybe I'll get to it. That doesn't go on that list. That goes in to do this week. Your to do today should have all your vital functions and then anything else that needs to be done. It could be personal things, everything that you absolutely need to do that day and nothing else. That's like the hardest part of this whole thing is training yourself not to add on all those extra things. But once you're able to do that, it's going to make your life so much easier. It's going to make you feel way less buried by things that you need to do, way less stressed out. So if you have extra time at the end of your day, you can totally go into your to-do this week and get some of that stuff knocked out or to do soon. But it should only be after completing your entire list for that day. So to give you an example of what would be like crucial on a to-do today list, this is just some things that I include on mine every single day. I always have personal development on there. I have my morning post. I have my evening post, follow-ups, reach outs, new invites, workout, check in on my team accountability post, which I recommend doing for everyone because it really is helpful at keeping you on task. I know a lot of people forget to do it, but it's super helpful making sure that you're getting everything done that you really need to get done. I'm sorry, my roommate's dog is like snuggling on me right now. And then I'll also add to that list like any non-Beachbody things that need to be done that day. You know, if I need to mail something out or pay a bill or do my laundry or whatever, I'll throw it on my list too. I don't leave it just for the business. It's everything that I need. That way I make sure I'm getting my work and my personal things done when I need to get them done. So by keeping your to-do today list confined to only things that are crucial to getting done that day, you're setting yourself up for success. You're going to be able to handle getting everything from your list done, and your vital behaviors aren't going to fall through the crack because you're not going to be doing other things to avoid having to talk to someone or having to follow up with someone or having to do an invite that's stressing you out. If you're just putting in your mind it is non-negotiable to get all those things done that day, it just becomes another task, and it's not such like a frantic, stressful thing. Whether that's your reach outs or your workouts or your personal development, if you're avoiding it, anything like that, it's gonna make it so much easier when you're just putting all your tasks, giving them all the same sort of weight. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so the next thing with these lists is you want to keep them handy. Probably all of us here have smartphones, I would assume. Pretty much everyone has a smartphone at this point. Even if you don't have a smartphone and you have an old phone, you can still make a to-do list in your phone. But the majority of us carry our cell phones around all day. It's constantly in your hand. It's like an attachment to your arm. By putting your to-do list on your cell phone, you have it available all day long, which means you could be checking things off of it and getting things done all day long. You're carrying around a crumbled up piece of paper and you lose it, or you leave it at home or anything else, you're not going to get anything done that day. And you're going to feel stressed out at the end of the day trying to frantically do everything. So you don't want to leave all your tasks till the end of the day. You want to be kind of doing everything as the day goes on. All right, next, something to include. So you want to identify your really big push goals. Those huge goals are hairy, scary goals that we create for ourselves. You want to make sure that you can identify what those are for you. And then you want to include 1 to 2 tasks in your to-do list every single day that are going to help you move towards those goals. It doesn't have to be something that, you know, is so huge and it's too big to take on and it's going to be overwhelming to do in one day, but just like simple tasks. If your goal is to rank advance to Emerald or rank advance to Diamond, then you need to have inviting and sharing the coaching opportunity on your list every single day, right? If you have a health goal, working out, Shakeology need to be on your list every single day. Those are things, again, they're going to compound over time, and then it's not going to be overwhelming. If you set a date for a goal, you're not going to be frantically panicking at the end of the day because you've been putting in the work all the way up to that point. Let's see. So now we want to get into a pattern with our lists. So you want to write your list out at the same time and preferably in the same place every single day. And this, I think, is something that's hard to do for some people at first because we're like all over the place, but you just need to make it a point to do it for like a week at the same time, in the same place every day, and it'll become a habit pretty quickly. So like for me, I like to do it in my bed the night before because I know that's the time that I'll remember it. And if I, sleep too late the next day or anything else, it's already there. I don't have to worry about it the next day. And if anyone's like me, if I don't get all those things that I need to do the next day out of my head, I will be laying in bed awake thinking about them for hours. So if I just put them in my phone really quick, it's done and I sleep soundly and I wake up in the morning ready to go. But if you're not like that, if you want to do it when you're eating your breakfast in the morning, if you want to do it when you're drinking your coffee, when you're before you leave your house, when you're sitting in your car, anything that's consistent that you're going to do every day, get yourself writing your to-do list there. It's not going to take you that long. It's not anything crazy or extensive. You can totally fit it in very easily into your day. But getting into that habit of creating it every day and creating it at the same time every day is going to help you complete it every day because you're going to be thinking about it actively. And then the last thing is that you want to create triggers for yourself that remind you to check on your to-do list throughout the day. So this can be really anything that you do throughout the day. It can be checking the clock, seeing a certain time. I do mine. I look at my to-do list every time I stop and I eat, because I eat all throughout the day. So I have to check, then it causes me to check my list all throughout the day. But the more times you can trigger yourself to look at your to-do list throughout the day, the easier it's going to be for you to get everything done, because you're going to be focusing on doing those things. And then the last thing that I want to just really briefly cover, because I know that Carolyn has talked about it before, but it does tie into all these things, is just time management. So again, getting yourself into that routine is so important. Once you can develop the habit of writing your to-do list every day, completing your to-do list every day, it's going to be so easy. It's going to just be something that you don't even have to think about. And if those vital behaviors are on your to-do list every day, those are going to become something that you don't even really have to think about. And again, for any of us who get stressed out about having to reach out to people or having to follow up, I know a lot of times, like with newer coaches, you're not as comfortable talking to people, or inviting people is a huge one. If you're doing it every day and you're just pounding it out every single day, it's going to become so second nature to you that you're going to thank yourself. I promise you. Okay. And then having a clear plan ahead of time is going to save you so much time. And especially if you're someone who works multiple jobs or goes to school or has a family you're taking care of, anything that's really consuming a lot of your time, if you're sitting there telling yourself, I don't have time to plan ahead, you're going to waste so much more time throughout your week than if you just buckle down for an hour on Sunday night or whatever night works for you and just get everything planned out. So planning your posts ahead of time for the full week is going to save you substantial amounts of time. And that's something I know a lot of people don't necessarily do, but because it is hard. It's hard to sit there and have to figure out exactly what you're going to post every day and have it ready to go. But think about it. If you're going to work and you're running late, you're not going to have time to sit there, pick out a photo that you want to use, edit the photo the way that you want it to look, get it to look perfect, write your caption, put all your hashtags. That's going to take too much time, and instead you're just going to end up skipping posting, and you don't want to do that. So if you can get everything done ahead of time, you won't even have to think about it throughout the week, and you're going to save yourself time, and you're going to give yourself so much more time get other things done. So if you're someone, again, who's running around a lot, plan your meals ahead of time. Super helpful. And then you don't end up eating like crap on a day when you're just like running around or in and out of the house, because you've already set yourself up for success. And then another thing that I like to do that's been super helpful is I plan out the people that I'm going to reach out to the night before. Again, while I'm laying in my bed, I make my to-do list, and then I'll sit there, and that's the time that I'll scroll through my Facebook wall and, get lost in everybody's posts and everything from the day, because I know that I've completed everything I needed to do. So I've earned, the time to just do what I need to do on Facebook. But during that time, I'll figure out who I'm going to reach out to the next day, who I'm going to send an invite to the next day, and I'll write it down. And then in the morning when I wake up, I don't have to waste time. I can just go right to Facebook, open up a message that person right away, and move on. So even though the time that it takes to plan ahead might seem annoying, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but like each minute you spend planning ahead is going to save you 10 minutes of doing later on. So it might seem annoying, but it's going to save you so much time through the week, and it's going to give you so much more time to do the things you need to do, to spend with your family, to do fun recreational things that have nothing to do with your business, you know, to get those additional to do soon things done. That makes sense. So if you're someone who feels like, even still, like, I just don't have the time, I don't have the time to get my vitals done, like, wake up an hour earlier. I know that some people don't like to wake up, but Carolyn mentioned last week, I think, the 30/30 app. That app is really awesome. It's free, and you can create your perfect power hour that works for you with that app. You basically are creating a to-do list and giving yourself an allotted amount of time to get each task done. So if you can create your power hour in that app, you wake up an hour earlier, you get everything you need to get done, and then that's it. You don't have to think about it the rest of the day. You don't have to come home at the end of the night feeling stressed out that you haven't worked out yet or that you haven't reached out to anyone yet, and then go to bed feeling like you didn't accomplish anything that day. You're getting it all done right away. I don't know if anybody's read Eat the Frog or listened to it. Everyone should if you haven't. But that's the main point of that whole book, is get those big cumbersome tasks done first thing in the morning, and you are going to feel like all the weight has been lifted off your shoulders for the rest of the day. So that's all I have. If anyone has any questions, I would love to answer them. I don't know how much time we have, but
I have a question.
yeah.
Well, first, thanks for sharing all of those awesome tidbits of information. And like, a lot of that was stuff that I thought I was doing, and then like I'm thinking and I'm like, wait, I don't do those things, because it's so different. Like, I used to have a job and this, and now I just have this, and it's so crazy how it changes everything. Like, I used to plan my posts and now I don't. And I'm thinking, like, it would save me a lot of time, but I just don't, because I don't have to. But now I'm thinking, like, maybe I should. Like, I think about, like, the idea, like, oh, I'm going to post about coaching or whatever, but I don't actually have the physical post done until, like, I'm ready to post it. But so I might start doing that again. But I wanted to ask you, your to-do list, do you have the things written in a certain order? Because I'm looking at mine right now, and for just the way that I typed it, I have like invites and like coaching invites and stuff towards the end, and it shouldn't be there, but that's just the way that I wrote it. And I tend to do it in order, and then like I get to the end, I'm like, crap, I didn't do those. So do you have yours in a certain order?
Yeah, so I use just like the like checklist that you have that comes with your iPhone. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I got it. It's like a to-do list that you could do on your iPhone that you can check it as you go. Mm-hmm. All of my vital behaviors, I check, and then at the end of the day, when I'm remaking my list, I just uncheck them. So those normally just shift themselves to the top anyway, because they're the only things that are there every single day. But that does really help me. Mm-hmm. I know, like, I do have, like, my personal development is the first thing I do every day, and that is at the top, and then my morning post. It does get like a little bit out of order, but I kind of have my own, like, because I was using 30/30 for a long time, and now it's just kind of like stuck in my brain to do things in a certain order. So I think that I still go back and do them in the same order every day, even if they're not necessarily in that order on my list.
Yeah, I'm thinking I need to like retype mine, just because just visually looking at it, those things are at the bottom, and like the way your brain works, it just goes top to bottom. So I tend to, like, I get down in the bottom of the list, I'm like, oh, I gotta do my invites now. Like, I just did all this other crap. I don't want to do them now. So yeah, I need to reorganize mine. Like, I do them, but I just hate having to do them. By the time I get to them, I'm like, should have did these in the morning.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything?
No. Come on, guys. Pick her brain. Let's go.
Like, I spouted a lot of information very quickly.
Well, we have to be quick because I'm too cheap to pay for the full version. So
I wanted to make sure I could.
One day.
Do you use Facebook Purity or anything like that? Because I was thinking about starting.
I haven't. I know that like that's something Kelly Hanner talks about that all the time and how it's really helpful for her. I've been able to, through this system, to just completely block out everything else automatically because I'm so set on getting everything done on my to-do list that I'm completely ignoring everything else. And then like I try to get most of my stuff done before I go to work in the morning, or as much of it as I can. And then like if I come home in the afternoon and I've gotten everything done, then I'll let myself just kind of relook at all my notifications. But for the most part, I just try to ignore them.
Okay.
I do think it probably would be helpful though, especially for anybody who's struggling with that. If you're trying to invite people and notifications are popping up, in case anybody doesn't know, this is something that shuts off your notifications and like clears out your news feed so you can't get distracted basically.
Yeah, I use it and it's very helpful. I can show you what it looks like if you want.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't know if it'll work though. Oh, what happened? Can you see me?
The black screen.
Okay. Everything just went weird. Hold on. Come on. All right. All right, so that's what my newsfeed looks like. It's very exciting. And you can turn off all this stuff too on the side if you want. And then this shows up here in the top, and that's the Facebook Purity. So if you click on that, you can pick like, oh, I don't want to see people you may know. I don't want to see the pop-ups. Like you can customize it from there. And it has a thing
that's just an add-on?
Yeah, if you go to like facebookpurity.com and then you add it on, it does have a thing that shows you like who deleted you as a friend, but I turned that off because I was getting too many people deleting me. So I'm like, I don't want to know. But yeah, so that's what it looks like. It's super, super boring, but it helps. I don't know what that was. Anything else? Come on, pick her brain. This is your chance. Let me see. No? Does anyone have anything about anything that doesn't have to do?
I have one thing.
You do? Okay, go ahead.
I thought it was a sort of question. Do you guys find a difference doing your invites in the morning versus at night? Because I typically was doing them in the evening, just because like for me that's the fun part, and so I like relaxing and like doing that in bed before I go to sleep. But I think maybe I should start doing it in the morning. What are your thoughts on that?
I like doing it in the morning. For me, that's not the fun part. Yeah. That was like my frog that I had to get over for sure. So I just kind of got in the habit of doing it in the morning. But I find that maybe it's because of my time difference here. When I do it at night, I usually like lose people mid-conversation because I'm 3 hours behind. So people go to sleep and then I'm like the next day being like, hey, remember me? We were in the middle of a conversation. So I like to get it done earlier in the day just so I can carry on the conversation.
Yeah, I think I'm the opposite because I'm 3 hours ahead of a lot of people. So when I do it in the morning, it's the middle of the night for them. So.
Yeah, that makes two. Yes.
Maybe I should just do midday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something, I forget who I heard this from, but they said that if you don't wake up to an inbox full of messages, then you didn't do your invites. So I think that holds very true because if you do them in the morning, it gives everyone like the entire day to respond to you. And sometimes they don't get to you until nighttime. And I'm like a grandma and I go to bed at like 10. So sometimes I don't see them until the morning. And that gives me people to talk to in the morning, so that just typically works for me. But if you do them at night, and like I send my invites and I don't automatically respond to people sometimes when they respond back. Like I'll wait till the next day and answer them, just as long as it's out there. And then like if it's like I'm laying in bed and somebody messages me, if it's one of you guys, like I don't make you wait. But if it's like someone who I'm talking to about a challenge pack or whatever, I'm like, I'll wait till the morning and I'll respond to them in the morning, because at night, like I'm like ready for bed at that point. So I typically, I used to do them in the morning, but I've been varying it up. But I think I'm going to switch back to the morning because I had a lot more success with that, because it gives people the entire day to get to you. And if they get to you at night, then you can get to them the next morning. So
I'm going to try tomorrow in the morning.
all right. Anything else? No? No? That awkward silence before we get cut off. Well, before we do get cut off, because it says less than a minute, please upgrade, which I'm not. I just wanted to thank you for sharing all of those amazing pieces of information. And one of the things that really stuck with me, you said, like, if you have more than 3 priorities, you don't have priorities. And that's so true. And when you look at this business too, like one of your priorities should be your family as well. So you always want to try to make sure that you balance everything out. And I know that was something that I had a lot of trouble with at the time. Like, okay, well, I have a boyfriend and I have a family and I need to spend time with them too. But like, I really want to build the business. But you really kind of have to, if they are, I mean, they should be a priority. You really need to make sure that you're dividing your time equally between your family, your significant other, and your business. And then also saying no. That's something I need to work on, because I think of these things and like, oh yeah, let me work on my Instagram. I want to build my Instagram. Like, oh, but what about a like page? Let me do a like page. Oh wait, Pinterest, that looks cool. Let me go over there. So like, it's all these things that just pop up, and it's hard to like block them out, but it's definitely something that is important, and it's a hard skill, but it's an important one. So thanks for sharing that too. And like I said before, I'm so proud of you, and I'm just so happy that you shared all of that with us.